the Apollo Lunar Module. I've doing a little unboxing here, unwrapping, opening the package. I couldn't get the metal sheets out at first, and I couldn't figure it out, so I had to take the X-Acto knife and slice open the package a little bit more, and the metal sheets were stuck to the plastic. Anyway, here we have two sheets. This one, I don't know if you caught the first build of the grand piano. This one is the Lunar Module, which is a more challenging build. You can see a much larger part count here. I think we're into the 40s, if not more. Repeats. Fascination Seattle, Washington stamp on that. I'll go over the tools I'll be using on this build. This is from a Metal Earth kit that you can purchase online or at your local store. These are some bent needle nose pliers. I seem to like these a lot to just generally fold, bend, and do things. This set comes with the kit, and these needle nose pliers have a straight edge, and also from the kit, the flat nose, square, blunt nose, 5-inch pliers. And let's get building. Here we have part one, which is basically it's a large piece. I'll tell you right now, I had some problems with this part, and you'll see in a while what happened. But for now, let's clip it out with the side clippers that come with the kit. Makes things easier instead of bending and twisting. Let's take a look. We'll also be bending up part two here, which is a little dish-like part. Happens to be, I think, something to do with the docking of this module to the main ship. Okay, so we'll take a gander at the assembly instructions here on the flowchart. And if you have some more curiosity, you can go online and take a look at their photos or 360-degree view, actually, of this lunar module. So, bending up this part, it's pretty simple. Just using my bent needle nose pliers. These didn't come with the kit, by the way. These were my own.
Wow, that was great.
Hey, thanks. You a fan?
I don't know. Let me see. Oh my God, you're back. I'd get up to shake your hand and steal your wallet, but my crappy body crapped out on me.
Yes, no, yes, yes. Yes, no, yes, yes.
So what you're hearing in the background, soundtrack, is music by Lima Music, experimental group. If you want to find out more, you can head out to their, check out their website. So that's just basically doing a blue circle flat bend to connect part two to part one. Now, this stage, we're gonna bend up this part number one into a box-like shape.
Hey, what you watching?
Nothing.
that a cooking show?
No, of course not. It was, porno. Yeah, that's it.
Bender, I didn't know you liked cooking. That's so cute.
Oh, it's true. I've been hiding it for so long.
It's okay, Bender. I like cooking too.
Pansy.
So the bend for this went fairly quick, fairly easy. Just keep those edges straight, 90 degrees. I'll mention right now, if you are going to do it according to the instructions, it's fine. Just never rebend those corners. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, moving on, we're going to look for part 3 and part 4. This little antenna dish, part 3. Looks a lot like part 2, but it's not. So don't get those mixed up. So part 3 and this part 4, which is the little structure that holds the dish. I like how they are very complicated, in my mind anyway, a little finicky part to start the build. But we'll work through it nonetheless.
Yes, no, no. Yes, no, no, yes.
I know you like cooking shows, but you're a robot. You don't even have a sense of taste.
Honey, I wouldn't talk about taste if I was wearing a lime green tank top.
Damn!
Okay, just finishing up that bend up. Taking a look at the online resource here, a photograph. You can go to their website to see that. Gives you an idea of what exactly they want us to bend this into. So these are the two little tabs that will connect it to main body. Here we're putting the dish through there. This is going to have two green triangle connections, which you'll see on the instructions. Clockwise twist. Okay, this is what I was talking. You don't do that. No. I made a mistake, and that was it. Now, don't reopen that. If you bent those over, that you should leave it and deal with it. In retrospect, if I was to redo this, I would probably just build the whole thing and not even bend that until the very end, because it's a lot easier to get to the connections, because there's a lot of stuff you're going to be attaching to this flat part, this part number 1. So if I was to ever redo this, I think I'd not bend that, because it's just hard to get into all those little spaces once it's bent into its closed over shape. So I'm just bending this part according to the photo reference into the instructions. It's a 90-degree twist. And yeah, I'm just going to carefully bend it into its position. And those two arms kind of act as, I guess, support struts for the assembly. So you can check out some photos of this on Instagram at Metal Earth Apollo Lunar Module. This is awesome. Moving on now to part 5. Identifying. Which is this little kind of weird looking transmitter assembly on a box. I didn't quite fully clip that out with those clippers, so you can twist it off.
Hey, buddy, I'm looking for fresh slug.
Yellow or purple?
Whatever.
The purple one causes terrible nightmarish diarrhea.
Yeah, either one's fine.
So, kind of, here I go again. Doing the thing you shouldn't be doing. So for a second time, I bent open that seam, and of course it's weakened it yet again. But of course, why did I do that? I did that because it's hard to get at those twists. So, like I said, if I was to ever do that again, I'd definitely wait till later to make that bend, because I don't think it's necessary at this point of the assembly. You can see how quickly that bend goes back. Anyway, I think I knew at that point things were not going to be good for those. So, yeah, finally things began to fall apart on that. So that's the first break. But I moved on. I said, well, I'm going to figure that out in a bit, but let's just keep building. So, part 6. We'll clip that out. And take a look at what three-dimensional shape this will be making. So it looks like it's something that holds on those 2 thruster assemblies. So straightforward bends straight up. Hope you're enjoying the background soundtrack brought to you by Llama Music. Talked to the, I guess, the liaison or the contact for the band. And this music, you have to understand, was made in 1986. So, yeah, almost 30 years old. But no, he said, go ahead. He sent me back an email and said, yeah, go ahead and use it. It's copyright-free, royalty-free music. So I said, I'll give you credit, which I am doing now. Llama Music. Thank you. Find it soothing. So just finishing off with a blued circle flat bend, keeping this whole little assembly together. And the diagram there, it's not too bad. You can get a good idea. Okay. So again, some more Instagram photos. Okay, so part 7 here. These little crosses. circular
Good
things.
news, everyone.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
It's thrusters, so you kind of have to take your time. I bent those up using those pliers. The engraved lines help you a lot to help get that conical shape for the thrusters. So again, it's using that right hand clockwise twist, green triangle to attach the thrusters. There you go. And check it out on Instagram. The build. Looking at parts 8 and 9 now. Okay. There we go. These are some side panels, I guess. Call them side panels. Weird sort of way, reminds me of the grand piano build.
I've never seen a supernova blow up, but if it's anything like my old Chevy Nova, it'll light up the night sky.
Yeah, anyone who misses this will regret it the rest of his life. Hey, Fry, could you go make some popcorn?
Okay.
So I'm just using my fingers to bend that piece into shape. See those lines? Help to achieve a nice curve that follows along the shape. Try to get a few try to get a tab in at least to start there, and I'll it's a green no, a blue circle, I believe. So you just bend that over. That part was a little tricky. You're going to have to bend that part. Get it in there and go ahead and bend that tab over. It wasn't split apart. So on the hunt now for part number 10 and clipping it and assembling it. It's really straightforward. And you know you've got the right bend happening when it fits into place. And there you go, a green triangle clockwise 90-degree twist. Okay, well, this is an interesting piece. It is the Part 11, the hatch.
Everyone put on your seatbelts.
Nah, those things cost more lives than they save.
So you can let's go ahead and bend that up. Pretty straightforward 90-degree bends. The door, the hatch, which Neil Armstrong or any number of the Apollo astronauts used to exit the said capsule to go for a moonwalk. And we'll just attach that now. Into the slot, the tab fitting in profile into the slot with a blue circle connection. So. So I, basically skip part 11 and 12. 12 and 13 assembly, which is basically the same as 8 and 9, except a mirror image. So, and then attach that to part 14, and 14 onto part 11. So it's pretty quick, actually, once you get moving along on this one. You can get this part built up. And that's it. You know, the more of these things you do, the faster you get.
Remarkable. According to the high-precision digital chronograph, it's July 9th, 1947, which would explain why the chronograph has turned into this pin-up calendar.
Wait a second. You mean we traveled through time?
Doy! Some idiot must have put metal in the microwave. Yo. And the microwave radiation, combined with the gravitons and graviolis from the supernova, blasted us through time itself.
So there you have part 15. These kind of annoying little ears that stick out of the assembly to hold the thrusters. So. But he can quickly get that built up, 2 of those. And we'll just move right along here. I'll spare you the gory details of the other one. And these thrusters, again, you've seen them before, yes. Those little cones. 4 cones. They were at one point a source of trouble. Yeah. Alright, we'll just finish up attaching those thrusters, and let's take a look at our next microwave rebuild, the Metal Earth Iron Man. It's going to be a challenging build that I think I'm up and ready for. Okay.
Have you seen today's news?
High school gym renovations on schedule? What a load!
No, over here. Flying saucer captured.
That's no flying saucer. That's my ass!
Okay, we're just doing a little bend here for the structure that's going to hold the antenna dish. So it's a pretty simple bend with a blue circle flat bend. And, this is part 3. The dish, which we have bent, as we've done before, and we'll now attach to that structure. Well, there you go. That was it. That was the falling apart, finally, of that last scene. So I continued on, persevered, and attached that part to the side with some green triangle twists. This part I'm going to glue with Krazy glue, or super glue, as those of you in the United States of America call it. And I won't get into all of the details, but yeah, I use some vices and a little spacer to keep things roughly square for the repair or for the gluing of those seams. But yeah, thanks to everyone on Instagram and YouTube who've given me some pointers on how to repair. So it's good for now, and we'll move on to part number 16, which is a little antenna array. And there we go, clipped out.
Bender, what was it like lying in that hole for 1,000 years?
I was enjoying it until you guys showed up.
So it's a fairly delicate part at the top, but just leave that. Then I'd like to mention soundtrack in the background by Llama Music. Check out their website. Sometimes I find using an Olfa knife useful to get into some of those tight spaces. You just gotta get a start on one of those tabs to do a blue circle bend. 17 and 18. So as the build continues, I notice it's easier to find the parts because there's less on the metal sheet. So anyway, make sure you do clip out the parts that you need. And moving on, this flat part number 17, just make sure you can follow the right angles.
Aha!
Bender, I was just not playing the holophone.
Yeah, we should try not stinking at it.
So that angle looks approximately correct. And make sure those tabs fit in nicely or close enough. But a dry fit for now. Because after we finish bending this, I'm gonna bend up part number 18.
Wow, your kid is great. How hard you say you had to hit him?
Fairly hard.
A bit of a Speedy Gonzalez bend. It's kind of fun. You just make sure the edges are all lined up, and you'll end up with this kind of modular round cup shape. We'll just go ahead and fit that on to the flat part here, and make sure those tabs get in. And then we'll do a green triangle twist. I recall having a little difficulty with that tab just because there's a odd angle. Tweak away, and there you have it, ready to fit in to that frame. As you put more of these side pieces on and connect them, the frame ends up becoming more rigid, and those seams that were broken earlier on are not as big a factor now. In fact, they do break later on, but it doesn't matter because there's a bunch of sides. So there is one side finished, and part 19. So this is a lot of the smaller, trickier parts I noticed were on the top part, the actual module that the astronauts stayed in. The bottom part was basically a lander part that they used. They left that on the moon.
It's hopeless. I can hear all this great music in my head, but my stupid hands can't keep up.
Aw, you know what always cheers me up? Laughing at other people's misfortunes.
So just make sure you get those top bends. I noticed in the instructions the three-dimensional look is you might make a mistake on which way to bend some of those parts. Haha, looks like Optimus Prime. Check it out. Metal Earth will rule. No, these are fun. They turn out well. Look at that. Look at that. Just bend that in, and there it is. Again, those tabs, you're gonna, for me, I try not to scratch the face up too much and get a start. Oh, look, I'm using my pliers. I noticed in the online pictures of this too, some of these folds, they didn't work out quite as planned for them as well, so I tried my best. Part 20 and 21.
Be my beautiful soul sitting naked on her couch. If I could just learn to play this stupid thing.
Oh, but you can. Though you may have to metaphorically make a deal with the devil. And by devil, I mean robot devil. And by metaphorically, I mean get your coat.
Well, there it is. Neil Armstrong's footprint on the moon. Here's Neil. Cool. Sitar music. I hope you are enjoying the soundtrack in the background. If not, well, I'm not sure there's a lot you can do. Well, you can just mute the entire thing. Just watch or... Anyway. Moving on to part 20 and 21. Attaching to mainframe. And, quite honestly, it looks a lot like the other side. Oh, one of my slots, tab slots there, got full of glue. Surprise. From my earlier repair job, so I had to dig that out and get that tab to fit in, and a big bend with a blue circle, flat bend. Yeah, at this point those seams, those crazy glue, those super glued seams had broken, so yeah, look closely at this. This is an odd part. It's actually the, I guess the thruster for the module that they use to take off from the moon's surface back to the orbiter. Truth be known, you're not going to see this if you model it. If you do or don't put this part in, you won't really notice it because it's buried inside.
What up?
Oh, well, it so happens I'm in the mood to make a deal with you.
Forget it, you can't tempt me.
Really? There's nothing you want?
I forgot you could tempt me with things I want.
So that's a quick, a rough bend up of the thruster assembly. Just enough to get that in to place, and then you can green triangle 90-degree clockwise twist. So. And yeah, just I guess even if it does, I don't know. Can you make a mistake? Which way it goes in? Anyway, there it is. I'm fitting it into the bottom part. It was a tight squeeze. It's all those parts get attached in. It's a tight little lunar module. And at this point we're using just flat bends. There, just snap. That'll snap into place. Use a little, you gotta kind of bend the box open at the bottom just to get that to fit in. There you go. It is a thruster. Part 24. And, oh yes, part 24. This is the actual, I guess, platform that they stepped out on after leaving the capsule. If he dared. Major Neil Armstrong. Now, how many years ago was that? 40, coming up to 50 years ago.
We've got to stem this tidal wave of moral decay. It's time to shut down Napster.com.
So you just attach that at this point, once you've bent the arms up. Handles, you can Loose circle bend on that, and oops, bend that back into shape there. Nice. Look at that. Okay. Okay, moving through, moving on, attaching that part you just made. You know what? It's easier. From here on in, if you've made it this far without crushing this into a flat piece of metal, bravo. Here you are, attaching part 25 to the main frame and saying, look at that. I made it. You're over halfway through the build video too, by the way. We're 40 minutes in. And oh, these are these little struts. At this point they look like little legs, but in fact they are they turn out to be struts that attach to the lunar module lander legs.
Listen, you fat internet nerd.
Listening.
Your company promotes wrong love. If you don't shut down right now, the only thing wired about you will be your jaw.
You can't shut us down. The internet is about the free exchange and sale of other people's ideas. We've done nothing wrong.
Help! I'm being held prisoner!
Part 26 and 27. I think kind of reminded me of a sombrero. Notice the non-engraved side is indicated in the instructions.
Open this door! Don't make me call the maintenance guy!
It's a bluff!
We can't take that chance.
So I just bent this up. Just using my fingers and bent the tabs over with my pliers. Fixing a little. This is going to become the, I guess, the inner part of the cone section, the thruster for the main landing assembly. There. That was an odd description. Okay. Engraved side faces down, and part 28. There it is. And part 29 is an interior cone.
Hey, don't look at me like that. If you're thinking of crossing the line with Bender, you can forget it. Bender don't bend that way.
Okay, so I'm just making sure I get all of the sides of this part nicely bent up. Moving on to part 29 now.
That was incredible, Bender. You're like Jackie Chan before he got all doughy.
Oh, shucks. I wasn't afraid of that robot. I'm pretty brave once you get past my macho exterior.
Fairly simple conical bend. Be sure you know what side is out. The engraved side actually is on the inside. In this case. And just using the green triangle 90-degree twist connection. And now on to part 30. Again, indispensable. These side clippers, they, you know, make it so much easier to remove these parts from the metal sheet without mangling said piece. And in this case, oh, by the way, part 38 is nested inside of part 30. So let's go ahead and clip those out and save those for later. So there's a particular way that this piece fits in, but you'll see clearly enough which way fits properly. I end up using my thumbnail to flatten the tabs. The simple blue circle connection seems to work. Sometimes it works with the needle nose. Moving on here, we're going to take a look at parts 31, 32, and 33, which are basically the kind of walls or the housing of this landing part of the module. And it has some interesting engraving, labeling, branding, as it were, with the... It was a space race, after all. I mean, the Russians never did go to the moon. Or did they?
Get lost, Pavarotti! No!
So just doing some very quick, simple bends with flat, blunt nose pliers, and connect them up. I found that was easy to do, and it helped to achieve the correct shape, which would be a octagonal shape, octagon, 8-sided stop sign. That's what I'm trying to say. There are only 9 stars, but so here we're taking a look at part 33, which is the little cover that goes on top of I guess a kind of protrusion. I'm sure there was something very special that went inside of that protrusion on the lunar module. And then we'll just attach quite simply with a few 2 blue circle flat connections, like so. Or if you want to use your bent nose, needle nose pliers, just to secure. And so be it. So now we're just attaching that housing to the sombrero. Not to that part there. I guess the thruster, the main thruster. Inside of that, if you ever get a chance to look at a cross section or a diagram, there, I think it was filled with fuel tanks mostly. So there we go. Oh yeah, here we are looking at part 34, which would be, I guess, little braces, some more detailing.
Why can't you accept his help?
I hate him.
But he's just a tool to make your life easier, like a socket wrench or a burglar's kit.
So there are 4 of these, and fairly simple bend. Make sure you get those tabs on a, I guess, a proper angle. Is it quite 90 degrees? Anyway, you can fool around till you get them set in there correctly, and I do believe it's a green triangle twist. Next, part 35, which would be these little tiny panels. But 4 of those, and you can clip them out. They're going to be attaching quite simply there. The last stretch of this part is basically multiples of 4, it seems, because you've got
It's just a list. It's not finished.
4 sides, 4 legs, an octagon. Okay, big step here. We're going to assemble those 2 main parts, which were meant to come apart eventually when they were finished and wanted to get off the moon and go back home to planet Earth. They would leave that bottom part and blast off. So I finally got that part to fit in with a little wiggling, and just keep an eye on those struts, bend them back into place when need be, as they will be bent. Okay, part 36 and 39 are 36 to 39 are the parts for the ladder, on which those lunar knots would climb down from that little platform to the surface. Oh, there's a little landing pad. And part 38, remember those? Need to clip those out. Anyway, so assemble this. This is one leg, which is a little bit different than the other 3 because of the ladders. So look carefully at the instructions for the proper assembly. And there's that ladder. And it is fitting on to part 36. Is that right? 36. And little delicate part there. I didn't bend the bottom part just yet. Left it flat. Now part 38, which has a couple of different slots there, so just make sure you get the ones that fit properly, and everything goes oh so nicely together. That would be a blue circle connection, and there you have it. Sweet.
Oop, low on power. Better fuel up. Oh, no! Guess I'll do what I always do when I run out of booze.
So after bending the little bottom part, you can attach it to circular landing pad, and after that attach it to the main frame on those two tabs that are coming off the struts. So yeah, there's a little bit of a deformation of the metal as you get the connections put in place, but once they're there, you can bend, tweak, straighten, adjust. You can see some of those struts are not really lined up, but that's the fun part. Later on, once you've finished, you can slowly work all the parts. Okay, now we're dealing with parts 37, 40, and 41, which are basically times 3 to finish off this build. Oh yes, finish. Did I say that word, finish? Ah. The end is near. Did you ask for a simulation? Okay. Looks like a somewhat not too difficult part to finish off. It's actually kind of fun. The struts are really delicate, I'll just tell you that. So you're going to need to support it with another pair of pliers, or just be careful when you bend that tab that you don't deform things too much. So there you go, straightening it out. Look at that, one more leg attached, and I think I've skipped ahead here. Yes, I have. You can see the other legs are on. All 4 are on. Final bending and adjustments. Yes. Hang in there. Thanks. If you actually watch this.
Oof. If that stuff wasn't real, how can I be sure anything is real? Is it not possible, nay, probable, that my whole life is just a product of my or someone else's imagination?
No, get out. Next!
Okay, and there it is. Got a smiling Gertie in the background. Yeah, yeah, be proud. Look at that. It's the Metal Earth Apollo Lunar Module. Oh, yes, some mishaps, but check it out on Instagram, check it out on Twitter, and check it out on Facebook. Microwavers, Metal Earth. Metal Earth Apollo Lunar Module. Thanks for watching, guys, gals.